Hey everybody, it's the Dragon King. Welcome to Dragon King 72 Media LLC on YouTube, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on TikTok, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on Instagram, Dragon King 72 Media LLC on X, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, if you read the caption, you know where I'm starting, where I'm going, and where I'm going to end up, okay? Let's get into this whole USS Abraham Lincoln debacle that's going on in our fucking military. Little backstory. I served in the United States Marine Corps from 1990 to 1994, right? And back then, all types of shit was going on, but there was a new wave of getting rid of the good old boys, if you know what I mean by that, and bringing in a new era of treating Marines like they're human beings and not like they fucking robots, okay? So, you know, I had served in 3rd Battalion, 8th Marine, 2nd Marine Division, and Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, both in Weapons Company and India Company, okay? And did a deployment in 92, lasted in late 92 all the way into 93. And it was one of those things where, you know, it was my second float deployment. Would have stayed in longer, did 20 years, but that's another story I'll tell y'all about one day. So we were in the Adriatic Sea for about 90 days during the Yugoslavia and Bosnia conflict that was going on with Slobodan Milosevic. I hope I said it right. You know, maybe not, because he was a tyrant and a bastard. Slobodan Milosevic during the Yugoslavia-Bosnia conflict in the Adriatic Sea. I think I got the right campaign. And that 90 days was fucking horrible. Now, mind you, we got food delivered to us from our sister called the, the Shenandoah. She been decommissioned probably 40 years by now. I'm gonna say about 30, almost 40. And it was a co-ed ship, and they would deliver our food supplies and stuff like that. They would meet us in wherever we was, you know, because they was a part of our battle group, all right? So, they was a part of our battle group. So, you know, we were in the Adriatic Sea for 90 fucking days. That's a long time to be not hitting no fucking ports. 90 fucking days. So when I hear that the USS Abraham Lincoln is experiencing over 220 days or something to that effect, it's definitely over 190. They must be fucking dying. You know what I'm saying? They are fucking dying over there. You see what I'm saying? They've been deployed for a long fucking time. 200 and some days at sea. They said food supplies are running low. You know, they said, you know, people are getting tense. You know, PTSD is starting to kick the fuck in. And I guarantee you, when they time in the military is over, probably more than half of those troops are going to be filing for some type of PTSD, service-connected, you know, illness. And then shit, how can you blame them? That's they going through some traumatic shit. I guarantee they will. And so I can only imagine the time that they spent at sea. Over 200 plus fucking days. And you know, because we had only did 90 and we was going berserk, just staying in one place for 3 months, not hitting a fucking port. You don't know what's happening, hot as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Everybody getting on motherfuckers' nerves, you know. And during that time, shit, a lot of things that happened to me. And again, I'll tell you about that one day in a fucking video, if I haven't, you know, in the past. But needless to say, you know, that type of time can bring a lot of tension. And so I'm not surprised that these men, I don't know if it's a co-ed ship, the USS Abraham Lincoln, but I can tell you, when I was on the, my first ship was the USS Wasp. It was an amphibious warship. And then the second ship I was on was the USS Saipan, which is what I think it had got commissioned in the late 70s, and we had got on it in the fucking 90s. So the ship was fucking old. It might have been earlier than that, but I understand what those troops and soldiers are dealing with. Those sailors and stuff are dealing with. They've been on sea for a long time. They can't get off nowhere. There's all kinds of issues mentally, psychologically happening to them on the USS Abraham Lincoln. People are writing home to their moms. And I'm going to tell you something. And I'll tell you about this story in a later video. But when a mom is already, parents in general, but specifically when a mom is worried about her child being in the military like mine was, she on constant needles every fucking time. Every fucking day she on fucking needles. Like, what is happening? If she don't get a letter every week, maybe 4 to 5 every month, it's a fucking problem. Where my son at? Where my daughter at? Where my kids at? What's going on? Somebody, I need answers. And nobody is more powerful in a military family than the military mom. She is the most powerful in the whole fucking family, because when a mom complains to a state representative, that state representative also is on the phone with her and the senator. Oh shit will happen. Heads will fucking roll about her child. So again, I'll tell you about that in a later date. But I can only imagine these tweets and stuff and these things that are happening to these soldiers. They reaching out to their parents, and they trying to figure out what in the fuck is going on, and they want answers. The fact that these women and women and men and women have served their country in an unjust war where we shouldn't even be over there. Now you telling them that they can't fucking eat. They serving their country because they wanted to serve for good reasons. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be debating their military career after this shit, whenever it fucking ends. If it ends in Iran, because Donald Trump, through the whispers, the sweet pillow whispers from Netanyahu, got us in this fucking war. I said what I said. Netanyahu whispering sweet nothings in Donald Trump's ear got us in this fucking war. I said what I said. I said what I said. So those troops, they like, oh, this may be I may not be doing this shit no more. This may be my 4 years. This may be it for me. I'm not, I'm done. I'm done with the whole fuckery and buffoonery. Or not, because this administration is going to eventually roll their ass up out of here, and maybe things will change, and maybe that'll give the soldiers and the sailors, men and women, a chance to, reevaluate what they want to do. Okay? That's a possibility. Because, if things had went the way they should have went, or I wanted them to go in the military, guess what? You wouldn't be talking to my ass right now. Not in this, type of aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Life has a way of, taking you the way it believes you should go. Whatever, right? Until you, whatever. But, so, they suffering over there. Over there. And I don't want to hear this shit, well, that's what they get for signing up for the military. No. They wanted to serve their country. I fucking get it, okay? I never had a problem with the military. I never said I had a problem with the military. Any of my videos, any conversation, I fucking served. And if shit wouldn't have happened to me the way it did, I'd still be in that motherfucker as 54 years old. But I had a more of a open mind about things and how things were being done. And people like me, we don't last long in the military. If we do, we don't get promoted, or we don't get promoted the way we should, because we not speaking out. But because we've been there so long, it's almost like, we got to do this versus, this is the person to get to the next level. But that's a whole nother conversation. So my thing is, and I'm a liberal and a Democrat and gay and progressive, right? Yes, Gay men have served in the military. Okay, we every fucking word. All right, we every fucking word. You know what I'm saying? We can do the job better than most of you straight motherfuckers in the military. But that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, they stressed out. A lot of them ain't had no pussy. You know what I'm saying? For the straight ones. You know, and that's you know, well, you know, if you gay and you coming out and that situation is, and some of them might know that you gay and you willing to do some things at the bottom of that ship. Ooh, I'm sorry, did I say too much? I'm just saying. No. But on a serious note, yeah, they stressed out. These men ain't got, they ain't seen their women, they ain't seen their family. You know, it's problematic. And of course, Pete Hegseth with his no good ass, with his no good ass, he talking about, oh, everything's fine. They got food, they got this, they got that. You know, he's on, I don't know what ship he's on. I don't think he's on the Lincoln. He might be when he was doing this interview. But he was the wrong motherfucker to be doing PR for a PR fucking nightmare, such as this shit that's going on with the USS Abraham Lincoln. And not only that, they've had reports, allegedly, I don't know, but I've been watching and hearing that people have jumped overboard. Now, I don't know if they jumping overboard to get some fresh air, or they just jumping overboard because they can't take it no more. I mean, you're dealing with military people, military minds. They are not the same as the regular motherfucker out here out on the street 9 to 5. A military mind is dangerous. It is complicated. It has a different way of looking at things in life. Once you go in the military, you don't look at things the same way again. You know, you just don't. Especially when you've been exposed to a lot of the bullshit that the government does, but also a lot of the greatness that the government does. So, you know, and that's rare with this fucking administration. And, you know, and government period, is if you're a minority, you know, it's always going to be different for us. But we find those beams of light when we need to. You know what I'm saying? When we have to. So, with all of that, and so yeah, it's kind of like, you know, they're fed up. They don't have enough of this bullshit. They've had enough of this bullshit. And they just done with it. They're fucking done with it. You know, food. You ain't gonna tell no military man that we running out of fucking food. I don't know about you, but Marines, both current and former veterans, we like to fucking eat. You know what I'm saying? We like to eat, fuck, and shoot our firearms. Some of them need to have firearm restrictions, but, you know, and psychological evaluations. But still, we like to fuck, eat, and use our firearms. That is a typical Marine right there. And I want them. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, the government is fucking over troops. And I'm gonna tell you what, and some of you don't want to hear this shit, but you gonna hear it. This is going to also, whether you believe it or not, this is going to also change that fucking midterm elections too. This was a gift, and I hate to say it, as bad as it is, as horrible as it is, that USS Abraham Lincoln shit that's going on, that is a gift to the Democrats. It is a gift to the Democrats. Because I guarantee you, them soldiers gonna be flipping the script when it comes to their voting. They gonna be like, fuck the Republicans, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Pete Hegseth, we voting Democrat in this motherfucker. That's what's gonna happen. So they just gave a gift to the Democrats with this USS Abraham Lincoln shit. You better believe it. You better fucking believe it. Because that's what happened. So that's it, y'all. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm at my appointment. You know, it's a shame this was happening to the soldiers. I hope things get better fast. But yeah, this is going to be a shift in that midterm in favor of the Democrats. So it is what it is. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Small miracles. Unfortunately, it has to come from some unfortunate situation like this, but it's coming as a miracle, as a gift to the Democrats for the midterm elections. Y'all don't forget oh yeah, one more thing. For all you business owners who believe in supporting DEI commitment, LGBTQIA plus inclusion, as well as race equity, make sure you go to equity-score-card.base44.app. That's equity-score-card.base44.app. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and peace out.